All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pastrami Nation podcast. I'm Kevin, and joining me today is co-founder of Pastrami Nation himself, Mr. Jason Smith. How you doing today, sir?
Good to be back.
Good. Yeah, I know, right? You've been gone. Well, it's been like 2
Been
weeks.
a
Been a
rough
couple
couple of
weeks.
weeks,
Yeah.
like
No,
sick, and then my mom was in the hospital last week, so
she's better now, though, right?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
She's home
Good.
now, everything's good, but not a fun week.
No, totally understandable. Yeah, it's rough. But of course, joining us also the Godfather of Toys, Mr. Christian
Yes.
Lacorda. How you doing today, sir?
Doing good, Jason. Glad to have you back, man. Glad to hear
thank you.
your mom's doing better too. So
Thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
yeah,
Very, very happy to hear that.
yeah.
Guys, we have a really, really fun show for you today. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate all you guys checking out the show. We really love that. Y'all are checking us out. So feel free to share the show too. If you know someone who might enjoy it, please share it away.
Only cool people though. That's all we want.
Only cool
Yeah.
people. Only cool people.
You all know a bunch of losers. We don't want them here.
No.
I'm just kidding.
You know,
Everybody is welcome, please.
everybody is welcome. And yeah,
Like-
so and before anyone asks about my, what's going on here, I know I have a different backdrop. I'm actually up in Seattle for work this week, so broadcasting live from my hotel room. So if you guys hear some weird noises, like the doors are really loud here, like it'll be like midnight and I'll just hear doors like opening and closing because they
It'll
just
be room
slam
service.
shut. Dude, yeah, it's like it's insane, it's crazy. So in today's show, we're generally going to talk about the Flash. We're going to really kind of get into spoilers, stuff like that. Jason hasn't seen it yet, but me and Christian have, and Jason's given us his full permission to just dive right in.
Yes.
But before we get to that, these toy nerds here want to talk a little bit about toys.
Yes.
Toy nerds. We host a Lego podcast, so we're all toy nerds. But please show the people what's been going on, what just came out, and what everyone's going gaga for right now.
Technically, it's out. Technically, it's still not out.
Oh,
technically. So if you know us, like Jason and I both collect the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. There are multiple lines of Ninja Turtle figures. There's the movie line, there's the cartoon line, there's a video game line, and there's the Mirage comic line. They just released a few things. So it's this big Target thing. It's technically not part of their like summer thing. I think NECA's not a part of that officially, so that's just the thing. Anyway, they have a 4-pack of the Jim Lawson style Ninja Turtles,
cool.
which
They
if
do
you're
look
familiar
very
with
cool.
the comics, he's kind of done like the longest run of the Mirage comics illustrations. So it's really, really cool. We finally get this. The only Mirage comic turtles that we've had that came back like 2007 or 2008 was like the old Kevin Eastman ones, which were great. They're good. Really specific, and it's super early, and it was for a very short amount of time. The majority of the time it's been like the Jim Lawson stuff. So it's finally released. It's just like every stupid goddamn NECA release that comes out that has a Target event. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Haulathon was last year, and I was lucky to find all the stuff that I wanted to find. That wasn't without a lot of hard work. And then this time around, I was like confident. I'm like, I'll be lucky. I found stuff last time. I'll find it this time. I don't know if there is a record for a single human being visiting the most amount of Targets in a single day. I'm pretty sure I broke it on Monday. I think I did 15 Targets in Southern California. So from Inland Empire to LA to Orange County to nothing. And then literally the next day I go to the one by my house and it's walking distance and they had it there. So here's the thing too, if you're looking for, it's these, by the way, these are the most gorgeous. This is not going to do you justice. For the record, I know toys. I'm the godfather of toys. But like my longest running favorite figure that I've ever had was from 2005, 2006 was the comic book Hellboy right there. That has been, if this place burns down, that's the only thing I'm grabbing.
Yes.
This is up there now. I feel like I finally like, wow, this is like, I don't know. There's something about like, I think in a toy form, like really capturing a very graphic 2-dimensional style that I love. This is the reason why I love that Hellboy so much, because it's just so like captured Mike Mignola style. There was a 1,000 Toys figure that came out a couple years ago right here, and I was like, oh, this is going to beat it. Nope, I still like the Mezco one better from 15 years ago. So, but yeah, this I think just if you're mildly into the Ninja Turtles, I think this is definitely worth picking up. I think these are the best turtle figures on the market. Again, it's not easy. It's not easy to get.
No.
So here's what I've found out. If you are interested in getting this, you got to go because it's in the NECA toys, right? So if you're familiar, if you're a toy collector, you already know this. Yeah, dude, it is so good. No, you had it. You don't have it anymore. So there's the toy section, and then there's the adult collectible stuff. At Target, that's where the like electronics are.
Where the cool stuff's at.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you, as far as I know, if they don't have it on the shelf, you can ask. I've come up with a couple of different things, but basically, that's how I got mine. I just asked. I saw it in the little cage that they wheel out from the back with all the electronics that's like locked, and then I saw a box in there with like a NECA wrapping sticker on it, and I was like, I asked the guy, and I'm like, hey man, can you open that so I can buy the contents of it? He's like, I don't know, it depends, man. And I'm like, well, what does that depend on? And he's like, I gotta see. And he opens it, and then he like scans it, and he was like, I'm like, well, can I buy it? He's like, I'd have to break the rules. I'm like, let's break some rules. And he let me buy it. So that was cool. That was very, very cool of him. But yeah, I know like other places, there's still some places in Orange County that might still have it. So I've actually been coming across it, but try to leave it there for the other collectors. But yeah, Jason, you were able to find it yesterday or today?
Yeah, today we found it. We went on a hunt of 7 targets. Not as extensive search as you, but we hit 7 targets. Something came up. We were supposed to see the Flash. Something came up, and we weren't going to make the show time. And like we're like, yeah, we'll just do this a different day. Let's go on a Target run because we had been looking like a couple days before, and we found like my brother found like the Shredder and the Foot Soldier and Splinter.
Oh,
and I found that big, the big buffed out frog when he got mutated on the cartoon series, but no luck on the Turtles, the 4-pack. So we decided, we're going to hit all these targets plus Lancaster Palmdale, and boom, boom, boom. Getting out here in the high desert, they're pretty helpful. Like the guy checked in the back, one of them, but he told me like, hey, basically it shows they're there, but we're not allowed to touch the NECA boxes. They're for the NECA vendor.
That's what I got at Diamond Bar. They told me the same exact thing.
Yeah. Well, I got the same thing at the other Apple Valley Target too. So I was like, okay, maybe it's real, but there's got to be a way. A friend of mine got these. Somebody will slip up over there. So we went and hit Lancaster first. I think it was one of the stores. There's 3 Targets out there. First one, the guy, no, we don't have these. They must have gotten stolen. And then didn't tell me anything else. He goes, the other store over there in Lancaster has 5 of them. And then, okay, so we zoom over there. Boom. Girl tells me, because there's nothing on the shelf, of course. Right. The girl tells me, no, we show 0. That store over there, the one we were just at, shows 5 of them. Right.
What?
So then we hit the other one. And that one, same thing, nothing.
Oh, my God.
At this point, I see this big guy walking around with his kids in the same section, and he's got his phone open, and he's got the barcode, like, wide zoom, and I look at the last 3 on that barcode. I'm like, damn it, son of a bitch, this guy's looking for the same shit as me. And he's like telling his son, we got up, and the kid's like, there's a Target worker over there, Dad. And the dad's like, no, that's one of those cell phone people with the black shirts. And I couldn't find a Target worker for shit. But I'm thinking, I gotta get to one before this guy does, because chances are he'd get it before one of me or my brother. So, but this dumb shit goes to the little red scan box where you scan a price, and I guess it has a button. He's telling his kids, look, you push this button and they'll come to you. They'll come over here. You just wait for them.
Fool.
Dumbass, yeah. I'm like, so I went over there. I saw some doors open because I heard like a beeping. There's somebody using like a machine back there. There's a bunch of them in the back, and the chick, real nice. I looked it up. Oh, no, we don't have any of these, but this store over here, the same store the other chick pointed me to, has 5 of them. So I'm like, son of a bitch, that guy was lying to me over at the first Target. So we go back.
Oh, my God.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, let's go back, but we'll ask somebody else. We won't ask this guy. And I asked some kid And the kid's like, yeah, it shows 5. Let me go back there. Like, and he's going back there. And then all of a sudden he comes back because I didn't see that other guy anywhere that was in the electronics. And I'm waiting by the door. Like, that kid comes back empty-handed. Yeah, they're not there. They must have been stolen. And like told me the same story that guy had told me. So I'm like, this son of a bitch is probably back here, telling him no.
Yeah.
Or there's a note on the box that says, tell him they've been stolen. So I'm like, because it shows 5 on hand. It showed it on his gun, his little phone. I'm like, So we just went and ate dinner and came back to the desert empty-handed. This morning, my brother goes to our regular Target and boom, jackpot.
Lo and behold.
Nicest Target worker in the world brings out.
So they brought it out. Okay. Oh, you haven't opened it yet. I love the packaging on this. It's so beautiful. A brand new Kevin Eastman illustration. Gorgeous. I know. It's hard to open because it's so beautifully packaged.
No, they're getting open tonight.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I've seen some of the poses like people do. I'm like, I need to do that.
It was a very. I got it. I think on Tuesday, and I didn't open it. I didn't open it for a few days, and then when I opened it, I put them up, and then like that night, I stayed up so late. I was just staring at them, like,
yeah, they're beautiful.
Please, this punch. They're so gorgeous. I can't. I feel like such a nerd, but I don't care because like this is why I collect. Like I love it.
Yeah.
And like I joked, like I cried a little bit when I finally got it. But dude, that was after like 4 days of like hunting target. And like you know how frustrating that's got to be because you know like you go to like you know whatever 9 targets one day, and then it's like you got to go back, right? Because you maybe were just there before they stocked, right? So like maybe. And then that's like through trial and error, was like figuring out. I'm like, oh, I got to go look here, and like, okay, I have to talk to this person, talk to that person. I got to hold of the barcodes, so maybe I don't know. We can do something if you guys want it, because that could be helpful. I have the barcode for the 4-pack.
I'm sure
the Splinter too. So I got everything except for the only thing that I'm missing is the Foot Soldier. I haven't gotten that, but Splinter, Shredder, April. And then the 4-pack I got. I just have
April came out too, right?
Yeah, it's nice. I have the old bobblehead April. It's huge. It's too big. But yeah, the new one is really nice. It makes her neck look long, but you know the perfect kind of combo is take the new head, put it on the old body, and it sits perfect. But
nice.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I've come to realize the majority of my collection is X-Men and Ninja Turtles. It's all X-Men right here, and then X-Men there, and then Ninja Turtles, and the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I spent Mirage Turtles though. Oh my god,
this is it. Like this is God. I'm glad that I picked up. Here's the fucked up part about this whole thing. I had the original like Eastman,
the NECA ones, right?
The NECA ones back in the day. So it was like 2010 or something. And my friend came with his newborn kid. His kid took his first steps in my apartment. And I had my toys up and everything. The kid was just like, oh my God. And I don't know what it was. I mean, I'm like, oh, you know what? Because they live in Florida. I'm like, let's you guys depart with some gifts. So here, I gave them my NECA Beetlejuice, which I fucking regret. I gave him the NECA 4-pack, all 4 of the fucking turtles to this fucking kid. I don't even know. This kid better be some kind of like scientist or contribute to society. God damn it. Because if he even gets bad grades, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kidding.
Michelangelo probably has his head chewed off or something.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I visited my parents obviously for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Kevin, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Same with Nolan too. I visited my parents and I told them about the turtles. I was like, if you're in Target, you should check out. And my mom was like, "What is this? Let me see it." So for those of you guys that don't know, I was basically bred to be a collector. There was no way I was going to make it to this age and not be a collector. Both my parents were collectors, so I just grew up with it. I grew up with like constantly hunting stuff. So this is just kind of that. So yeah, my mom was like, "Challenge accepted."
Yes,
like, I know my mom's gonna all of a sudden if I go to their house and she has it, that'll be really funny. Anyway, good luck to those of you that are still looking for them. I know we also have like Comic-Con exclusives coming up. We have the Turtles in Time or the Turtles 3 4-pack coming out in the samurai gear. That's gonna be Comic-Con exclusive. I think they're gonna go online or sale online too.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. So you guys can go on. I forget which this NECA's one of NECA's website. And you can pre-order it. So
I don't know. I thought about ordering online, but I kind of want to wing it and go buy them at the NECA booth.
I kind of want to do it too. So
because I heard that like if you buy online, you're not going to get it shipped till after Comic-Con.
way after, yeah.
So I'd rather in hand, you know.
Yeah, I think I can probably try to swing that too. So, but yeah, you know, there's I don't even know what the other exclusives are, but this will be
Kino's pretty cool.
That is that an exclusive too?
Yeah,
this will be.
I'm mad because they're charging $100 for it, you know,
because it comes in that pizza box.
So all that shit.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see the pictures, Ernie Reyes Jr. took pictures with it, and it comes with like a pizza box. It says like Roy's Pizza, and it has that in it and some other stuff. So it's really cool. It's all exclusive for the con, which should be good. This will be, I think, like one of the only times I've ever gone to a con with money. There was so many times in the 2000s I went broke, and it's just like, oh, that'd be nice.
I've had some of those.
Yeah. This time I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take two. Anyway.
Go in there with a full clip.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to it, but I'm out of space, man. I had to take down Gundam and then move stuff around so I could make a new shelf for the Mirage Turtles here.
Yes.
So now the Gundam are over there.
Nice.
I just need to I don't know. Anyway.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, go check that out, guys. They're out now, you said, right? So you should be able to find them, or not. If
these guys,
you won't be able to find them easily, but
no. But good luck.
Good luck. Well, good luck. We really wish you luck. Speaking of Ninja Turtles and speaking of Gundam, let's talk about the Flash.
Yes.
That is not connected at all. So the Flash, as most of you all know, is kind of one of the last lingering things from the previous regime over at DC. One of the last ones right before Aquaman 2 is technically going to be kind of the last hurrah for the DCEU. Even Blue Beetle is considered to be DCU, which is James Gunn's universe. James Gunn recently did an interview, and he was saying about how Blue Beetle is technically the first DCU character, but Superman Legacy is going to be the first DCU film, which is just, I don't know, dude, just like pick a lane. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Right. But let's talk about the Flash. I did tell Nolan earlier that I was going to reenact the whole thing from beginning to end on this podcast. So we're going to get started right now, guys.
All right, ready?
So here's what? No, you got to do the Warner Brothers logo, right? The fanfare. Then you got the DC, all the super. No, we're not gonna act it out. Even though I would love to run around catching babies.
Yeah,
a little too flashy.
A little too flashy, yeah. So let's talk about the Flash a little bit. So like I said earlier, me and Christian have seen it. So Christian, I'm very curious. I'll tell you what I think, just kind of initial thoughts on it first before we kind of get into any spoiler stuff. What were your initial thoughts of the Flash?
I'm sure by now you guys all heard this. There was just so much hubbub about how amazing this movie was. Tom Cruise saw it, and who else saw it? Like Stephen King and
Stephen
Spielberg,
Tom Cruise,
James Gunn. Like people were just going on and on about how like this is one of the greatest superhero movies. I will say it is not one of the greatest superhero movies. It was fun. It was like cool. It's hard to get past the Ezra stuff, you know, like because I said like long before I was going to see the movie, I'm like I'm just going to like remove that out of my head. But then there's just some ick parts where he says like things that are like, you know, it's the right thing to do. So like whatever he says, something like noble. But I'm like, real Ezra, real Flash wouldn't say that though. There were some genuine funny parts. There were some genuine surprises. There was a lot of stuff that I like. Ultimately, it's like give it a couple hours and you'll forget that. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw the Flash today. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my take on it. What about you, Kevin? I'm very curious.
I'm the same way. I about halfway through, I think I don't normally check my watch during movies, right? I don't normally kind of see how long there is left to go. I didn't take out my phone or anything, but like I was like in that mode. I was like, what am like how partway through, I was like, what? I was watching the movie and I was like, what am I doing? I can go watch the TV show at home. You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like a subpar version of a story that we've seen 100 times. We've seen played out before, right? Like even obviously the comics, we had the Flashpoint story. This is a Flashpoint story. We even have the wonderful animated movie that came out a few years ago, Flashpoint. Even on the TV show, they did a Flashpoint adjacent type arc. I thought it was really well done. This one, it never quite justifies its existence. Like it's more kind of interested in saying, hey, like, look what we can do. Look who we have. Look at these cameos. Isn't this shiny? Isn't this cool? Yeah. And the story itself, the villain is Zod. Has like, why couldn't you throw like at least one or two Flash villains in there to make it feel like a Flash movie? Why couldn't you just make a Flash movie? Like Michael Keaton's Batman, amazing to see, really fun. But I honestly would have been fine if he was not in it. The story would have been fine if he was not in it as well. But that was kind of like their hey, look over here, look what we have. Forget about this stuff going on over here. We have Michael Keaton over here as Batman. Like, check this out. And that's really what the movie kind of felt like to me. And you brought up Ezra. He's so good. Like they are very, very good in the role, but like you, Christian, I couldn't get past the Ezra Miller of it all, right? Like, I think they are fantastic. I think they were great. I just couldn't get past the elephant in the room, so to speak, you know?
Yeah. He did like, I'm sorry, they were fantastic. And there were some like really key scenes where I thought like they really shined. Also, there were some scenes where they were super annoying, but I think that was like the point of it. I also am not one, and everybody's been talking about this. I'm usually not one that's bothered by subpar CG. Like if I like things, if I like the movie enough, I'm like, that's cool. Like I love I Am Legend, and I know like a lot of people complain about like the monsters or the vampires.
That's the Will Smith one, right?
Yeah, I don't care. Like I love that movie
Reloaded.
So much. Yeah,
okay.
Right. So like, but this was like, oh, dude, like. I don't want to even say like, oh, it looks like old video games, but
some of the
those were cool back then.
I know. This movie would have done gangbusters in 1998.
It would have.
Nice.
It's weird. And then here's the problem I think that DC has done across the board, right? Across the board from like TVs, video games. They're like, oh, I think this is done. It's missing something, you know. Oh, a little Batman. There you go. A little bit more Batman. Like that's all they got, man. Like I know it works, but yeah, have faith in your other characters, man. Yeah. Like we would have been okay. Like don't get me wrong, I loved seeing Michael Keaton, and like
that was,
and Ben Affleck was awesome too. Like that was cool. It was weird also because of CG mask. But yeah,
I thought that was great. I thought the stuff with even like I don't think it's a huge surprise, but Wonder Woman has a pretty funny cameo in it, you know?
Yeah. And then a weird little let's go behind her and drop the camera and look up her skirt a little bit. I was like, oh God, we're like 10 minutes in this movie. Come on, man. But that's fine, whatever.
But yeah, I felt the same way. I was just like, it honestly just it was fun, right? Like it was fine. Like I wasn't bored. I was just like kind of thinking like, I'm a big fan of the TV show, as corny as it is at times, but even that I felt like had better CGI than this movie did.
Oh yeah.
Yikes.
And that's,
that's CWCG is better than
and that's saying something. And Andy Muschietti has come out, the director, he's come out and said it's supposed to look like that.
No, dude.
He said it's supposed to be like you're in the zone with Barry, and it's supposed to be off-putting and kind of weird, but it's just not off-putting. It's just bad.
I get that. Like I get that excuse for like in the little time dome thing. It wasn't just that. It was bad everywhere. Like, like obviously, like you guys already know this, we see in the trailer, there's two Barrys, right?
Mhm.
We have like the President Barry, and then we have like a younger Barry. And almost every shot of them together, like you could tell one of them was like not done well. Like there are movies from like 30 years ago where you're like, holy shit, how'd they do that?
Like look at Multiplicity with Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, exactly. Back to the Future too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at how old
that's
these
an
movies
old
are,
one.
Yeah.
right? And they knock it out of the park. And then this is like, oh, dude, you couldn't get a rubber mask. That would have even been better than what they did. Like,
Listen,
They should have
guys,
done that.
if you're even thinking about going to watch The Flash, just watch Multiplicity instead. There you go. Simple. You get 100. You get like 10 Michael Keatons. You only get one in this movie.
To be fair, I feel like I'm picking it apart because it was overhyped. I feel like it was wildly overhyped, and I think had it just came out quietly, I'd have been like, "Holy shit, that was awesome!" CG was, but like that was awesome. I also feel like it's just like I'm just in the habit of picking on DC movies, but I do think this is probably one of the stronger DC movies in a while.
I think I agree with that. I think that it's, for me, it's like mid tier, right? Like it's not it's not like at the bottom end, but it's not at the top either, right? It's somewhere in the middle. One more thing that kind of bothered me was that, you have that really fun, like, so when the movie starts, there's a whole scene with Batman, and there's a scene with the building exploding, and Barry, he's trying to get his nutrients so that he can keep on going. You have the building coming down, and you have babies flying everywhere. So honestly, I thought that was really fun. Like, I thought that was really cool. And if the movie had stayed on that trajectory and just kind of went all out and just kind of like had fun with the whole thing and just was like, here, this is what we're doing. We're setting the stage for you. It's going to be a silly, fun superhero movie. I would have been all in, but it didn't do that. Like, that held for maybe the first half hour. And then after that, it got super serious. And after that, it just got weird. And then it was not even weird in a good way, just like the bad CG and like the plots we've seen before. And I mentioned it earlier, but it didn't feel like a Flash movie. There was no Flash villain. It was also someone else's villain. You had all these other characters, and it just didn't feel like it needed to exist. So go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I kind of also feel like it's not entirely their fault. So I've talked about this before. Like, if you've ever been to Burbank, and if you go to like where DreamWorks is, they're cornered in by the 134 and the 5 freeway. And then as soon as DreamWorks built their stuff, Disney just bought all of the property around them. So I feel like, hey, Cassie,
what's up?
I do feel like we're literally like only a couple weeks after, Across the Spider-Verse. We're a year and a half after, No Way Home. Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania, you know what I mean? I feel like to be fair to DC was kind of the first one to announce that they were doing the Flash. They announced that before all these other things were.
They announced that at the end. The insane part is they announced this movie at the end of season 1 of the CW show.
Oh my gosh.
They announced they were doing this film.
Yeah.
Like, that's just insane.
And I really think like Disney just drove the multiverse into the ground. Like, not in a bad way, because I would say half of their movies that were multiverse were good. I really, really still like No Way Home. I think No Way Home was better than the Flash movie. Obviously 100%. Across the Spider-Verse is because you're watching the Flash, I'm like, ooh, that's a little familiar.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like we've gotten all these other, what's that?
Kind of blasé.
Yeah, like there's so much of this other multiverse stuff going on right now that like this just kind of feels so watered down and doesn't do anything different or unique. Even something like Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? Like it used the multiverse idea, but used it in a cool way. Spider-Verse used it in a cool way. The Flash, just like, all right, this is
sounds like I'm in for a treat.
Yeah, this is what you kind of expect.
I will say there were some real standout parts. I don't want to spoil everything, but there's some Eric Stoltz action in there that I thought.
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic!
Brilliant,
that was great.
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm Jason. If you don't want to hear this, because I really have to talk about some of the stuff in it. So I'm talking about going deep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it anyway. So
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
before I do, I just want to make sure everyone's cool with it. Because Christian,
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Let's do it.
I have to get this
Please.
off of my chest a little bit. Okay.
Yes.
So just real quickly before we get into that, Christian, if you were to give it a 1 through 5, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 3.5. 3.5, I think is 3.5, 3.8.
Okay.
Let's go
I
there.
think I'm a little lower. I'm like at a 2.5 to be honest.
boy.
But
Right.
I mean, that's still watchable. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fun.
Also, Shazam was not bad. I finally watched it.
Oh, Fury of the Gods, I
I
thought
like
was great.
Shazam.
Yeah, I enjoyed Shazam too.
I like that a lot. Actually,
yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Arturo says 3.0.
Oh, that's fair. That's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
Whatever you guys want to rate it. That's totally cool. So let's talk some cameos. Let's talk some things going on. So of course we got the Eric Stoltz bit, which I thought was fantastic. They're like, he's like, you mean Michael J. Fox? He's like, no, Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz. Schultz. I thought that was fantastic. So now we're kind of getting to the tail end of the movie. We get some Salvatore action, right? When Barry's just kind of been doing this whole time loop over and 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 gets stuck in there. And then we kind of are taken on this journey through like DC history, like throughout the ages. So first, like a couple of the really big cameos I thought were really fun was you got George Reeves Superman.
Yes.
You got George Reeves, the OG like serial Superman, and then you had Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater as Superman and Supergirl from the early 80s Supergirl.
Like
Supergirl.
kind of them, but like a weird
CG.
like
that thing I posted,
doll looking thing.
I posted a thing on my Facebook, and that's what it looked like. You know that old like CGI from like of the Scorpion King, like from the Mummy Returns. Like that's what it looked like. And then you have Nick Cage Superman, which is really cool.
That was, I saw that on TikTok like the day before, and I did not realize that it was from the movie. And I was just like, "What is this?"
I saw that same meme.
Crap. Yeah, I was like, "I will watch this. I don't even care." And then I realized in the theater, I'm like, "Oh."
I just watched Renfield yesterday.
Oh, Renfield was great. Renfield was fun. Also, guys, if you guys are watching this movie called Polite Society is on Peacock right now. We watched it. It's fantastic. Don't watch any trailers. It's just a lot of fun. It's kind of like it's a comedy. It's a family comedy, but it's also like an action movie. It's really good. Anyways, I don't want to get too much of that, but go watch that too. Yeah, it's on Peacock. It's really good. But yeah, so one thing I thought was really cool too was how they gave you a Flash origin story without actually like taking you out of the movie to tell it. You know what I mean? So like So Barry, he finds himself in this other universe where his parents are alive. That's where he meets the other Barry. But he finds out that this universe, the other Barry doesn't have Flash powers. He's not the Flash. So he kind of makes it happen. He's like, we have to get over here at this. It's the day of. He's like, we have to get there in order for you to get your powers. So they get there, they do it. But then our Barry, Prime Barry, I guess Barry Prime.
Barry Prime, right? Yeah.
He loses his powers in the process. So you have this other Barry who's just trying to figure out how to be the Flash. So you kind of see him like doing like normal first day, like Flash stuff and everything like that. Gives you a good glimpse of the origin without actually like taking you out of it to tell the origin story, if that makes sense. So I thought that was actually really, really cleverly done, because any other movie, they would have given you like 20 minutes of exposition before and then all that stuff.
I'm gonna not spoil the last cameo of the movie, but that was my favorite. I busted up laughing. I was like cheering.
But see, that's what I'm curious about. That's what I need to talk to you about. So,
Jason, man,
I'm good. I'm gonna see it anyway.
All right, so the whole thing is basically over. We get Flash Prime back in his regular time, kind of resolves another storyline, and then he's walking out of a courthouse, and then he gets a phone call.
Just real quick, guys, like I normally wouldn't do this, but like as long as everyone's cool with it,
it's a major spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a minor spoiler. It's a minor spoiler for a fun little cameo.
Yeah.
So yeah, he walks out. He's on his phone rings. It's Bruce. He's like, "Hey, Bruce, blah blah. Thank you so much, blah blah blah." He's like, "I'll be right there. I'm right there." And then you see the car pull up, and all the press like, "Oh," and then you finally see him gets out of the car. Everybody clears out of the way. It's George fucking Clooney. And I was like, "This is fantastic." And like Flash is like, "What the fuck?" Like.
He literally says, "Who the F is this guy?"
Yeah.
He was like, "Who the F is this guy?" And he's like, "I'm Bruce." He's like, "What's going on, Barry? Are you okay?"
But I think there was a divide in the theater because I was sitting next to a bunch of Gen Z kids that I had to respect because I overheard them talking about the movies. They're movie kids. They're cool. But like when I was like, "Yes," they're like, "What the fuck?" Like they were like really upset about it. Yeah, exactly.
So, so that genuinely, so I had a couple of the other cameos spoiled for me. I did not have that one spoiled for me. I saw it and I was like it genuinely caught me off guard because Clooney has been very like vocal about just he enjoyed doing it, but he was like, "Yeah, it's like behind me, it's done." He's like
become apologetic about it.
He has,
yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was very, very cool. I thought that was like probably that was my favorite part out of the whole movie. Not even gonna lie, because like okay, George Clooney, arguably the worst Batman ever put on film. I think everyone agrees to that. Like he's not great.
Did he bust out the Bat credit card?
Right? No, but seeing him pop up, it did kind of do this weird nostalgia thing too, where I was like, I hate this, but I love it at the same time.
Yeah.
So obviously by that ending, like we kind of figure that this isn't Barry's actual universe, right? Like he's somewhere else, but then the movie ends. Like it doesn't give you any like, know.
That's it, guys. So Andy Muschietti also came out and said like he basically this is what we would have been doing for the sequel.
Yeah.
So basically confirming that obviously there's not going to be a sequel.
Right.
There's no way. So.
No, but I do want to bring up about the Clooney thing. After kind of seeing him pop up, I'm like, let's get him back. It's still a really cool, like I can see Clooney doing like a really cool, like old man Bruce type story, you know, or even like a Batman Beyond or something where he's just like older and wiser. I like Clooney. I love Clooney. I think he's great. Obviously, when he did Batman and Robin, he was super young, still trying to figure things out. He wasn't a movie star. Like he was still doing ER, you know, he was still like coming off of TV and kind of learning how to do movies and stuff a little bit more.
I love how like
brother, huh?
Oh yeah.
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 I love how everybody else is like, "I'm Batman." And then like George Clooney's like, "Hey, Freeze, I'm Batman." Like,
there you go. My name is Freeze. I remember it.
Oh, that was great. But yeah, I love that cameo.
Yeah.
And then you have the end credit scene, which I didn't really.
The worst. I was maybe the worst. Leave. Just leave. As soon as those credits start,
nothing happens.
Don't even wait for it. What a waste of time.
It is. So it is kind of funny seeing their dynamic, especially after Peacemaker. Because I love you saw Peacemaker.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The very end when the Justice League, and then they're talking about how Aquaman does, you know, what to fish, and it's actually Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller, and they're like, "Wait, you don't do that," and then just Momoa's delivery of "F you, Barry" is probably one of my favorite things in DC history.
One of the things that I really also appreciate about this movie, so now I'm like thinking about all the stuff that are like it's something that they've addressed in all other superhero movies, especially like the Marvel movies, is where the fuck is everybody else? Like you have like this big disaster happening and it's only up to one person now. So like it's really cool at the beginning of the movie with that whole thing happening, and then you get a couple of other Justice League people and they talk about that. Like he's talking to Alfred and he's like, "Where's blah blah blah? Where's blah blah blah? Oh, I'm glad to see that I'm your first choice," or whatever he says. So I think that's really cool. And even to tie it all back at the end, I think that's really cool.
I also want to shout out to Sasha Calle.
Calle.
Yeah. I thought she was fantastic as Supergirl. I think she was great. I would love to see more of her character.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're probably not going to, but I thought she was amazing. I did like the way that they played that, right? Where like they're trying to break Superman out of the thing, and then they realize Superman does not exist, or Zod killed Superman. Like Zod killed out. Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
We're getting into spoilers.
Yeah.
Killed them. So Supergirl had been captured, and that's why they're, I love when they go in the room. They're like, what is this? What's going on? Who is this person? And then they took her onto the sun, and then she gets her powers back. And then I thought that scene was really cool too, to be honest.
There's a scene in the trailer, and I love it's so well done. Andy Muschietti, like perfect, where they're like they get captured and like everybody's like this, and then Flash is like, Batman, what do we do? He's like, try to stay alive, and he does this, and then they reveal like Supergirl like flying in the air. Like, oh god, that was such a cool reveal. Yeah. She had some of like the awesome moments, like also her stuff with Zod when like the reveal of what happened to Kal-El, and like she just fucking loses it. Like, great, fantastic.
It was really good. So let's talk about Andy Muschietti a little bit. For me, in my opinion, he's 1 for 3 right now.
So I'm assuming It is
the first It, yeah,
right.
The first It. The second It, it relied too much on jump scares, and it just wasn't very scary. Like the first one was great because it was all about that dread and like building it up and stuff. The second one was just like boo, like every like 30 seconds I was like, oh, there's Pennywise again. And then this, I don't really know what he did before. I'm sure he's done.
I was just listening to it and I can't remember now, but he did there were other projects that he was tied to, I think, before that. He directed, it was like a smaller movie with Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Oh, he did Mama. I thought Mama was really good, actually. Mama was good. Okay.
So I don't know if anybody caught this, but Jamie Lannister is in The Flash. He has a very no speaking role. I think he was like this, holding like a hot dog, and then the Flash comes by and grabs the hot dog out of his hand. And he comes back to him, he's like, whoa. And I'm like, great. That's Jamie Lannister. I'm like, oh, crazy.
Yeah, that was really, really, really funny. I do love, like, going back to the beginning, like I love how they set it up to where he needs, like they explain how he needs the protein and everything to keep going, So he's like running around trying to get his sandwich.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just super funny. Like the guy's just taking his time making his sandwich, and then Barry goes off and saves the day, saves all the babies. He comes back, the guy's still making the sandwich.
I just wish they kept that going because they dropped that quick and then they pick it up again at the very end. And it's a funny gag, but
and then that's what I'm saying. Like this movie like set up some really cool ideas and some really fun stuff, but it never made good on any of it. Like it never kept going with it. It always just kind of flatlined with everything else. And because I think the Flash as a character has a potential to be really fun. Like
really.
It could be a really, really good time. And again, it wasn't a horrible time. I had just fine, but would I go see it again in theaters? No. Am I going to go see Spider-Verse again in theaters? Yeah.
Hell yeah, if I could. I think the big difference between The Flash and No Way Home, and I've said this before, and I think it just has more to do with Spider-Man, is I feel it, man. Like when I watched No Way Home the first time, I think even the second time, I fucking cried, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when there's multiple times where you like really get it, and I think it's because like first of all, we had 3 movies, just solo movies with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. So we got to know him. We got to know Aunt May. We get to know MJ. You know what I mean? We get really attached to them. So I don't care how emotional this was with his. By the way, shout out his mom from Y Tu Mamá También. I haven't seen her since then.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh
yeah. So that was crazy. But like
put that together,
she was fantastic, and that was really well done. It's just I don't know her.
Ron Livingston.
Yes.
Replacing Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
As Barry's dad. I thought that was a good choice. Yeah.
I'm not a McFarlane guy. I'm solely going to change the subject for like 2 seconds.
No, you're fine.
I'm not a McFarlane guy, and I think this is the prime example of why I'm not. By the way, this is, I think, one of the best Marvel Legends to come out in a long time. It's the astonishing Cyclops. Anyway, this is a 6-inch figure. This is a 7-inch figure. Look at how their torsos are fucking exactly the same. Yet look at how much longer his goddamn legs are. He looks like Jack Skellington. Sorry. McFarlane, what are you doing with your proportions, dude? Fix that.
Some of them have long necks too.
Yeah, it's not scaled properly. Like it's
real
not
hit or
all
miss. I pick and choose the ones I buy.
It really is. So yeah, same. At first I thought it would be funny to buy an Ezra Miller figure, and I'm like, every collection needs a villain. But I have this and I have Peacemaker. Those are the two that I have. So
I think I have King Shark and that Flash with the pan head, the
Mm-mm.
Jay Garrick one.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, kinda
overall, overall, I would still recommend the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd
It's
say go check it out.
yeah.
It's kind of like you kind of if you're a completionist, go check
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
I have to check
you
it
know?
out.
Yeah.
Before what's this week? Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones
It's
is next week.
Next
next
what's
week.
this
So
week?
what's
Nothing
this
this
week?
week.
Nothing this week.
This will be my catch-up week because I missed Transformers also.
Oh, I gotta
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Fast X is out on like streaming. So
Okay, I'm gonna check that one out there because I haven't seen that one. I've been just with stuff going on. I've been out of the loop, but Spider-Verse I was not gonna miss on opening day.
Hell no. Yeah. I will watch Fast X just for Momoa's performance because that's all I hear. The only good thing I hear about that.
Have either of you guys watched Flaming Hot yet?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
That's
Oh,
such
yeah.
a good movie.
Really?
It's really
On
good.
Disney Plus. It's the story of the guy who created the Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Mm.
So check it out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Dude,
Yeah,
shout
also-
out Eva Longoria. I think that's her
Yeah, she directed it,
directorial.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also
Pretty
a review
awesome.
on Pastrami Nation. Nolan wrote it. So
Yeah, the actual guy, he retweeted it.
yeah.
Oh,
real
that's
guy.
cool.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, that's
great.
cool.
Like what was it, Tony Shalhoub, Monk? You know, he's this Enrico, the CEO of I didn't get him at first. I didn't recognize him. I was like, after seeing him talk, I'm like, that's Monk. That's Monk without
I
the
think
curly hair.
The sequel to Extraction, I think, is coming out as well.
Oh, that's right.
nice.
That was really fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
I thought the first one was great. I actually
Yeah.
had a lot of fun with the first one.
Yeah.
Extraction 2 comes out. No, it's already out, actually. It's on Netflix.
Oh, cool.
Came out June 16th.
More watching material.
Yeah. But next weekend, next weekend we get Indy, and then I think in a couple weeks after that, we get the showdown of the summer. We get Barbie versus Oppenheimer at the box office.
Dude.
Um,
I can't wait.
Barbie's gonna take it, but
I think Barbie is going to take it.
oh, Barbie!
Absolutely.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Listen, Oppenheimer has a lot. It's Christopher Nolan, which is great, but Christopher Nolan's name only goes so far before people are willing to sit in a 3-hour drama about the creation of the atomic bomb.
Dude, I feel like it's gonna be like oh god, it's gonna be a rough watch.
I think so too. I enjoy Christopher Nolan. I like him, but
that cast looks amazing too. We got some Maddie Damons in there, but yeah, Barbie looks like it's gonna be a blast. So,
Yeah.
I'm ready for Barbie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna watch them both. I think I'll.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I need to catch up on a few things, but
did you guys see the Craven trailer?
Yes, the Red Band trailer.
what do you guys think?
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah.
People said Barbie.
I'll let you be nice about it. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, me, just I'm a gore kind of guy. So like, and I mean, if you're gonna give us this backstory to a Spider-Man villain, then why not? They did Venom. They did. Well, Morbius really wasn't a villain. I mean, the real villain was whoever made that movie. But,
you could say the same thing about Venom too.
I liked Venom. It was good. I didn't hate Venom. Like Morbius, no. Like I felt like I was watching an episode of a show called Beast Man. Like it did not do it for me. But this Kraven the Hunter looks promising. Mainly because it's rated R. Like had that been a PG-13 movie, like it'd be kind of lame.
I thought the trailer looked good. It also wasn't remotely Craven. Like, who the fuck is this guy? I think he looks amazing. There's like a wide shot of him in like the lion gear and everything. Woo! You're perfect.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
But like it's Sony. I don't understand what you're doing. Why are you turning all of Spider-Man's villains into anti-heroes? What are you doing?
Morbius looked awesome in the trailer,
Right.
Sony obviously knows what to do with Spider-Man and its villains, especially from the Spider-Verse movies. Why aren't they just doing something like, why aren't they bringing that kind of heart and soul to any of their other movies? Like they do not. Just don't.
the trailer kept telling you like he's a villain, he's a bad guy, he's a villain, but everything you were showing us was like he's only killing evil people. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's doing stuff that a hero would do. So like you're showing us the actions of a hero, but you're telling us that he's supposed to be a villain. You're making another anti-hero, Sony. Like, what are you doing? My problem with this is if you keep treating all of Spider-Man's villains like this, if they finally ever go up against Spider-Man, he's gonna look like a fucking asshole beating up these really cool people.
Yeah,
like
they're gonna Daniel LaRusso the shit out of him.
no,
I know. So like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's Sony, man. Whatever Sony's doing. So Eli isn't here, but he's texted me. He wanted me to remind everyone that I don't know if any of y'all are into anime, but the Black Clover movie, which is based on an anime, is out on Netflix now and in select theaters also. So he's a really big anime kid, so he's really excited to put the word out there.
Speaking of anime,
did you guys see that One Piece trailer?
One Piece trailer, yeah.
I think it looks fun. I don't know anything about the show. Eli watches it.
It looks awesome.
I know there's like so many episodes, like it's like insane. Like I think we did the like there's actually an article
like over 1,000 episodes.
Yeah,
saying
how long it would take to watch all the episodes if you were just to stream all the way through. It's like it's like in the years. Like it's crazy. It's insane.
Like
basically because of the writer's strike. This is the perfect time to start One Piece because it's gonna be a while till we get new content.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and they also released an image from the new Avatar Airbender. The last
they did.
Yeah. So and people are liking it apparently. So that's cool. It's just a single image, so we don't know yet.
We forget about the M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, I like that old Avatar movie, that Airbender. I thought that was cool.
I haven't seen it the whole way through. I think I saw the first third of it. It's about as much as I've seen of it.
It was a fun movie. That was that kid from Slumdog Millionaire, wasn't it?
Yeah. Patel. Oh my God.
Dev Patel. Yeah.
Dev Patel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. Great.
I love that guy. He's good. He's really great.
Well, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, I would still recommend watching The Flash. Also, what was the deal? I keep going back to this, but like, I get like, oh, this is exciting news. We're gonna revamp the DC universe. Why didn't they just wait till they finished like the slate of movies to announce it? Because I really think that's the main reason why people aren't coming out. Like, why? Who cares? Like, none of this. It's all inconsequential now.
I agree, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And I also think because I don't think the average movie-going person really knows a lot about the Ezra Miller situation, to be honest, right? Like, I don't think they're really following it that deeply. They're either going to go see this or they're not. And that's what kind of caught me off guard about why I didn't do so well this weekend, because it's The Flash, right? Like The Flash should be a big movie. And DC is this habit of like making these movies that should be epic, huge, like Batman versus Superman should have easily been like the highest grossing movie of all time. Like easily, like 100%, like there's no question, but they blew it, right? They blew it. I don't know if it's marketing. I don't know if it's who they're choosing to make these things. I just don't think the general public is, gravitating towards what they're putting out.
There were a lot of people that are like, see, they should have just stuck to like Snyder's plan and blah blah blah.
But you know what? It wasn't working either.
It clearly isn't working because this is still an extension of it, and it's all failing miserably.
And it's like Twitter was just full. I mean, Twitter's a horrible place, anyways. But like after this movie came out, there were people spoiling it, like just straight up spoiling it because Snyder still isn't involved. So there's a bunch of Snyder bros out there like ruining things for people just because their guy doesn't have a job anymore with the studio. He's doing fine. He's making other momovies. Yeah, and I think that's the most petty, ridiculous thing you can do. Like, don't ruin things for other people. I don't care if your guy just does, like, sorry, your guy wasn't working. And I know we can come under fire for me saying this, but the Snyder stuff was not working. James Gunn is keeping the stuff that was working, which essentially is kind of the stuff that he kind of created. But
Jason Momoa and
Jason, you have Momoa, you have and I honestly, listen, I know everyone's like, well, if they're going to reboot it, might as well reboot everything. No, like keep Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn because that works, right?
Yes.
Jared Leto as a Joker was not working. Sorry, like get rid of him. Like just get rid of Get rid of all these characters that weren't working. Listen, I love Henry Cavill as Superman, but something wasn't working there.
To no fault of his own.
No fault of his own, but just keep the stuff that's working. And like, just it frustrates me to no end that people are out there like screaming, like, just because Zack Snyder and they feel like they have some weird devotion to them, that they have to. I like Zack Snyder. I really do. I think his movies, I think he's done. I personally love Sucker Punch. I know I'm going to come out, but I thought that movie was a lot of fun.
It was good.
Dawn of the Dead, I thought was great.
Yes.
I think he's fine, but like, just, it's time to move on. It's like the whole world's moving on. The DCEU is moving on. The DCU now is moving on. Deal with it and move on with it.
Yeah.
Or just don't watch the movies. Like, no need to go out there and spoil it. No need to be an asshole about it and like, try to ruin other people's experiences. Like,
I have learned that, I famously hate Batman v Superman. That is my bottom of the fucking list of the DCE.
It shouldn't be like that though, right? Like,
it should be number one.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, like, how are you making Batman v Superman the second fucking movie out of the gate for your whole universe? That should have been coming out now. You know what I mean? We should have had like a good 10 years with Superman and Batman, get to know them, and then like have them diametrically because they disagree, not because of like, oh, my little plan worked. I'm a weird Lex Luthor.
And I think DC also had a problem. Yeah, I think DC had more so of a problem too than the MCU did, with just more concern with setting up the next thing than telling its story. I think especially Batman versus Superman, right? It was like, oh, look, we're going to get you a Batman movie. Oh, it's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's here. Look at her. Like, she's cool, right? Like, she's going to have her own movie. That's what all of these movies felt like. And I feel like the ones that are really good stand on their own. So like the first Wonder Woman stands on its own. Shazam, the first one was, they're both actually really good.
Yeah. I think
yeah. Like it's the movies that are more concerned with setting other things up that just didn't work. And I feel like DCEU really got into that hole really deep and tried to,
because they were just trying to play catch up with Marvel. I feel like, I mean, you have to know, like, right, like that's what they were doing. They were like a few years behind, and they're like, let's just jump to the Justice League.
Yeah, and I think someone did ask me the other day when I was talking about it. They asked me how I would feel if like Kevin Feige was replaced at Marvel, right? Because they know I'm an MCU guy. They're like, how would when they're talking about Snyder, they're like, well, how would you feel if Kevin Feige was left from Marvel? And I'd be like, Marvel hasn't been that great anyways lately. Let's try something new. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
I don't hero worship Kevin Feige either. So like,
I would be okay with it. Yeah. And I hate this weird loyalty to someone who you don't owe anything to. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what happens. Like, Kevin Feige was to leave, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, let's see what's going to happen next.
If we get better entertainment for it, why? Sorry. Like they made plenty of money. They're going to be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But like, we don't. That's okay, Kevin. You did great, and
I love Kevin.
Yeah. The last 10 years, last 12 years, however long it's been, kicking ass, right? I mean, I know the last couple of years have been a little rough, but we've still. There was a time where every Marvel movie was a banger. Every Marvel movie that came out was like, even the mediocre ones were still fantastic.
What's really sad? So me and Eli, obviously, we love the MCU, right? Like the MCU is like one of our favorite things. But we have the new Secret Invasion show just came out on Disney+.
Is that out yet?
It's out. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's out.
Oh, I gotta check.
All right, I gotta go. Bye, guys.
But it's like, but that's the thing, right? Like it was like, oh, like it's out. Cool. Like I still haven't watched it yet. Like I still haven't. I didn't
even know. I heard that's supposed to be really good.
I heard it's supposed to be good too.
If it sticks to like kind of closely to the storyline in the comics, it'll be great.
Whew, we'll see. That's a big ask.
That's a tall order right there.
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. But yeah, it looks like it's kind of going back to like the whole Winter Soldier feel and like that kind of, I don't know, thriller.
Definitely got to check it out though.
Spy thriller thing. So yeah, I've been looking forward to that because we were just talking about that today. I forgot about Moon Knight. I was like, oh, that exists. I think Moon Knight was my least favorite like Marvel TV show. I like She-Hulk way better than Moon Knight. Sorry, y'all. I know that's a fucking hot take. But yeah, I love Moon Knight. I love Oscar Isaac. I don't know what happened. I'll actually probably break that down. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think they've kind of taken a break a little bit. Hopefully, they took some time to kind of revamp everything.
I think so. I hope so too.
But yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that was fun. I know it was nice to vent. It was nice to vent about nerdy comic book stuff. But guys, I think that's it for our show today. Thank you all for checking out the show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Go try to find your Ninja Turtle thing, because that would
go
be
to Target.
Awesome. Go to Targets. Go find them. And there was also
luck.
Yeah, good luck. There's also an audio version of this podcast you guys can download. It comes out in like a week or so, but you guys can just listen to our beautiful voices instead of having to
listen to us while you drive to work.
Yeah. You can yell at us while you're driving to work. You can always, if I know you, just give me a call. You can yell at me over the phone. That's cool too.
There you go.
But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for checking it out. Of course, as always, Christian, they can find you on Instagram.
You can yell at me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. My name, Christian Nacorda, no space.
Nice.
And then you can head over to MySpace for Jason.
Yes.
You'll be my top 8.
MySpace, Friendster, all that fun stuff. And you can find me at SnyderIsGoneMoveOn.com. No, you can find me Kevin_Hoskinson or Kevin Hoskinson on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Direct all of the hate mail to the Pastrami Nation account, please.
Yes.
It'll filter out. It'll filter out to us.
Care of Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith, exactly.
You know what all the Snyder people, like those, you know what they remind me of? It's like I watch wrestling. It's like I don't know. Whenever the fans whenever somebody come out that like it just seems like if they didn't get their way, they just started shouting CM Punk, CM Punk.
Oh yeah.
He was like the most generic wrestler I've ever seen. But I don't know what fans like. I didn't buy into it like they did, but it just seemed like every other wrestler that they would try to promote or whatever, fans just started shouting CM Punk, CM Punk. I'm like, what does he do that is like better than this or this? You know?
Right.
Like that's the Snyder guys are the CM Punk fans of the DC universe.
100%. Absolutely.
This is like one of my only wrestling figures, and I have him playing the guitar.
I got this guy.
Oh yeah, I haven't opened him yet. I'm trying to get all the 80s ones. This also just makes me laugh because it's one of my favorite memes. Is like, anyway, brother, here's Wonderwall. And it's like,
know something.
It's Hulk, the Hulkster playing the guitar. So now I have this in action figure form.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Cool, guys. All right, you guys. Well, have a good night. Take care. Whenever you're listening to this, have a good day. Have a good night, whatever it is, and
whatever time it is over there.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Make sure to take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you guys next week for a brand new episode of the Pastrami Nation Brick Therapy podcast. Will be next week. So, yeah, that'll be fun. So, all right, we'll see you guys later.
House. Wait, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. See you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.
Take care, guys.